are you, ladies and gentlemen? It is the 11th of September. Welcome to the Garage, the Court of Public Opinion. Thank you for joining us. And don't forget to join us tomorrow morning, live streaming around the dining room table. We were having a chat about some of the comments I made on Monday for the Tuesday posting on Facebook about Dan Andrews and Bob Carr. And it seems the consensus of opinion is that they're businessmen. And they are there because they are going to do business on behalf of people who want to do business with the Chinese. Well, Bob Carr, to my knowledge, has denied that he's got any clients or any business interests whatsoever. And it was interesting, too, to see that Dictator Dan, or Chairman Dan, or whatever you want to call him, I've never seen him with a collar and tie on. There he was, up the back of the class of 2025, looking sort of very businesslike. Maybe there is something. Maybe there is something to this. This government is going to restrict freedom of information. I don't know if you've heard this. Restrict freedom of information. We fought damn hard to get this freedom of information. No longer will we have access, the access that we've had for years. Hard won. Why? Well, Labor wants to charge. They want to charge us for access. Evidence that could embarrass the government won't be quite so easy to get hold of. Could that be the reason? Maybe. It's a clear break, handbrake on information. Freedom of information, freedom of speech, and of course, along with government accountability. One can only speculate as to why they want this. Journalists, where are you? Why aren't you standing these guys up against the wall and questioning them on their motives? They're not going to make a lot of money out of charging people. That's not the point. They just want us to jump through more hoops. Simple. Green hydrogen. How could these captains of industry and governments with their thousands of advisors and public servants, how could they have been so stupid and ignorant? More closures of green hydrogen investments. Billions of taxpayer dollars down the drain. A total waste of money. An idea abandoned by lots of people back 60 years ago. Twiggy Forrest, you're not stupid. Why did you even consider this nonsense, let alone put up, I don't know whether it was your money or your investors' money, your shareholders' money? It cost you plenty. It was proven over many years that it took more energy and money to produce a product than you could get at the other end. So what are you doing? We are being led by fools, ladies and gentlemen, wasting investors, taxpayers' money for absolutely nothing. And oh yes, the South Australian Premier, Peter Malinauskas, he's looking at the moment for $600 million to build an Aboriginal Interpretive Centre. Now this has been going on for a little while now. The Aboriginal Interpretive Centre on the old RAH site, or part of it. He's looking for a donor. Would anyone be so stupid? Word is he's trying to interest Twiggy Forrest in this folly. Twiggy, you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't fall for that. I don't believe it. There's an interpretive centre, if you want one. There is an interpretive centre just around the corner on Pirie Street, which was built at great public expense and fanfare. It is derelict, defaced. No, it's actually destroyed. Closed up, boarded up. Will government never learn the lessons of history? Finally, some more details on that deal done between Anthony Albanese and the Nauru government to take 280 illegal immigrants, rapists, murderers, child abusers, 280 of them turned loose by the courts. Well, the deal is, are you ready? Are you sitting down? You think you should grab a drink? Something? The deal is $2.5 billion. Just amazing that they're getting away with this. 410 million on the table now, 70 million a year for 30 years, which works out at $7 million per criminal. Is this the sensible use of taxpayers' money? It's outrageous. Outrageous that any government would use public money in this fashion. I've got a few suggestions as to what we could do with this cohort of criminals, which wouldn't cost us a penny. I won't tell you now, maybe Friday, but I would like to hear what suggestions you might come up with. 0491 65 68 60. Now the thing is, you know, the Brits loaded up their criminals, mostly petty criminals, not in the league of these guys, and they loaded them up, sent them to Australia. Why couldn't we, a few hundred years down the track, load this crowd up and send them back to Britain? Yeah, what goes around comes around. Friday morning, 9 to 12, live streaming, jeremycordeaux.com. A few days ago, it was revealed that 267 older patients, 267. Keep your mind on that, those billions that we're paying Nauru, will you? A few days ago, we were told 267 older patients with dementia are being accommodated in hospitals because there's nowhere else to put them. We can't afford to do anything about this problem, so we put them in hospital beds. This, they say, or more correctly, the Health Minister Chris Picton says, is leading to the ramping problem. Okay. My personal opinion is that this guy's an idiot. He shouldn't be a minister. Let's just look at the knock-on effect of this problem. It's incalculable. I can tell you, last month, people spent 3,300 hours ramped in discomfort, pain, possibly agony, I don't know. And you say we can't do anything about it? Yes, you can. Yes, you can prioritise. You prioritise the Live golf course renovations. Millions and millions of dollars. The Aboriginal Interpretive Centre, $600 million. Prioritise. Shelve your pet projects. Billions of dollars written off with this green hydrogen energy nonsense. Whyalla. Oh yes, COP31. COP31, penciled in for Adelaide next year. Not only a waste of money, but useless and stupid. Do I have to go on? Picton, you should go. He's a fool. The Premier should scrap this stupid business and embrace the essential. Scrap the stupid, embrace the essential. Hell, the Liberals could do that as well. But do it now. Do it now. Elderly people with dementia being put into hospital beds because you've got nowhere else to put them. Bizarre. I saw that fool, Chris Bowen. Oh, maybe you could put the light back. I kicked the globe. Sorry. Chris Bowen, last week. He was undecided as to whether or not to legislate Australia's emissions target for 2035. Now, they came to office with a promise to legislate the target for 2030, which they did. Now for 2035, well, he's thinking, I love this crowd. He was asked, Minister, why? Why do you want to do that? Why does legislating it, why? He said, to give investors and industry certainty. Certainty? Certainty. Certainty that you can't pay your electricity bill, that companies will go broke, and, oh yes, his other reason, to send a message. Yeah, send a message to set an example to other countries around the world. Really, you idiot. Do you think other countries care about what Australia does? What we do with our emissions is of no global interest, concern or consequence. And here's something else. Anthony Albanese says of defence, we will not be told by other countries, meaning America, what our defence budget should be. We will decide at the time what is right for us. Why doesn't he apply that same logic to the overseas climate crackpots who tell us, more importantly him, what our climate policy should be? These people are truly mad, irresponsible, and oh yes, stupid. It's becoming my favourite word. A 70% increase in car theft in Victoria, much more than any other state in Australia. And I think the reason is that the courts have become a revolving door. There's no consequence for the kids stealing cars, hijacking cars, carjackings. There's no consequence. They know they'll just go to court, they'll be given bail, they'll be out, and they'll be doing it again another couple of days. If not swinging machetes and killing innocent kids on the street. Well, the advice of the RAVC, which is like the RAA here and the NRMA in New South Wales, the advice of the motoring expert is forget all the modern fancy electronics, go into cheap auto and buy yourself a steering wheel lock. Because these kids wouldn't know what a steering wheel lock was, so that would slow them down. And the other thing is, forget buying automatics. They're never going to steal, right?
Oh, manual.
Yeah, they're never going to steal a manual. They wouldn't know how to drive it.
That is brilliant.
Safe as houses. The old club lock is our best protection, and the 4 on the floor. Who would have thought? Do people still use business cards? I don't know. I have business cards. I suppose mostly because I like business names. You know, one of my businesses is word of mouth, the best advertising in the world. There's another business called Neighbourhood Watch, which is a wonderful security company. I think you're meant to do more than just have the business card.
I'm getting one printed as we talk.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a fantastic way to give somebody your contact details. It's discreet, it's elegant, it's direct, it's effective, and, you know, the printers need the work. Think about it.
Dale Carnegie said, you shake with one hand and you give the card with the other.
Yeah, and the funny thing is there's a great etiquette attached to it. If you ever take a business card from a Japanese businessman, there's kind of like a ceremony. It's held together like that in the hands and presented to you as a precious thing. Yeah, certainly there's an etiquette attached to it. The GDP was out last week, the gross domestic product. We grew, don't get excited, we grew by an anemic 0.06%. 0.06%, 1.8% for the year. I don't think that's even a pulse. I don't think it is. No sign of life, but it's enough to stop another rate rise anytime soon. You would think that the government would start to question its policies, wouldn't you? But with the employment rate, it's probably enough to cause the RBA to question its next move, and your guess as to what that might be is as good as mine. I don't know. Here for the rising sun, ladies and gentlemen, 60 Bridge Street at Kensington. And it doesn't matter which end of Bridge Street you approach the restaurant from, the council have been very nice. Gee, I don't know why they did that. I mean, Grant must know some people in City Hall, because there's a nice big council sign at the end of each end of Bridge Street that says, "This way to the rising sun." Grant and Jackie will look after you. Maybe even organise a sign for you. The Rising Sun, regularly chosen as the best pub or inn in South Australia. A beautiful, beautiful spot for a drink, a get-together, a family celebration, product launch, intimate dinner, romantic dinner for two. You'll love it. And Elder Fine Art Gallery in Melbourne Street, North Adelaide. They're at 106 and 110, two beautiful buildings. You can talk to Jim or Helen on 8267 2869. Now, if you have a painting that you'd like them to appraise, absolutely free of charge, with a thought in mind of selling it, you know, he's out looking, harvesting, canvassing for paintings for the next auction, which will be about 2 months away. So remember, he sells to the world and he'll get you the best price. Don't forget to call us tomorrow, 0491 65 68 60, jeremycordeaux.com, live streaming for 3 hours, interesting guests. Former Premier Lynn Arnold will be with us, Professor Plimer will be with us. We're going to have a look at Antiques Down Under, which is a television program, and a very interesting initiative in South Australia. Anyway, it'll be a full program. You can make it fuller, of course, by taking part. You can find us on your computer, jeremycordeaux.com, or you can go to Simple Radio, which is an app you can put on your telephone, and then I will be where I most enjoy being, that is in the palm of your hand. True. Now, some dates. I wish you a happy birthday. It is... The old eyes are going. Thank God I don't need these for anything other than reading. September 11. Yep, September 11. 2 passenger planes hijacked by Al-Qaeda terrorists crash into New York's World Trade Tower, the World Trade Center towers, the Twin Towers, causing the collapse of both and the death of 2,606 people. This day, 2001, worse, I would say, than the Day of Infamy in 1941. 1946, the first mobile long-distance car-to-car telephone conversation. Way back in 1946. Lordy, lordy. First singing of Stephen Foster's "Oh Susanna" in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on this day in 1847. Oh Susanna, na 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 me. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Stephen Foster's wonderful music. I think the most beautiful thing he did was Beautiful Dreamer. Beautiful Dreamer. Yeah, I liked his work. Still do. The first electronic telegraph was used on this day in 1853. Merchants Exchange, San Francisco. The first electronic telegraph. 1922, Australian newspaper The Sun News Pictorial is founded, predecessor of the Herald Sun of Melbourne. In 1922, part of the Murdoch Empire. Roger Hargraves, English author, illustrator of children's books, 1988, dies of a stroke at 53 on this day. Harry Connick Jr., American pop and jazz singer, pianist. We Are in Love, When Harry Met Sally, Will and Grace, TV personality, American Idol, born New Orleans, Louisiana, on this day in 1967. Mystery writer Agatha Christie. She was 39. She gets married to an archaeologist by the name of Max Mallowan. Yeah, Max Mallowan. He was 26. She was 39. She liked younger men. That's right.
Cougar.
Nothing wrong with that. D.H. Lawrence, English poet and writer. Lady Chatterley's lover was born 1885. Enid Blyton publishes The Five on a Treasure Island, which was the first of her famous 5 children's novels. She started that series. By the time she finished it, 100 million copies of all of the 5 series were sold. 100 million. Wow. The last known person dies of smallpox. Sadly, American medical photographer Janet Parker, infected, 1978. What else can I tell you? Australia invades New Britain, defeating a German contingent there in 1914. And 1297, the battle at Stirling Bridge. Scottish rebel William Wallace defeats the English. Give me freedom or give me death. Now, before Peter gets the straitjacket out, I'll say goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow if you've got the time to join us around the dining room table. Lots of interesting guests. JeremyCordeaux.com, 9 to 12. Thank you for viewing the Court of Public Opinion. Believe in yourself, and goodbye for now.